Hi, this is Vanessa Joy with Shutter Mag, and I want to show you one of the best new things that I'm doing for in-person sales. So definitely read the magazine article all about in-person sales and some tips for you there, but what I wanted to show you is my brand new little device that I'm using with my clients. So you're sitting down in a consultation session. Actually, you can see behind me. This is my studio, and this is where I do that. So you're sitting down in a consultation session and you want them to look at the pre-album design, and they're editing it with you and they're going through, but what about all the rest of their photos that you haven't included? I used to have them sit there and try to remember, or I would have them try to make a list beforehand of all of their must-have photos, and hopefully they would sit down with me and put more photos into it. Well, here's what happened. One, they would listen to me and they would make a massive list of must-have photos, half of them which are already in the album, and they would read through the numbers and it would just be disastrous. I'd be sitting there importing all these photos, trying to get them into the design before we really went over them, and it was too clunky, it was annoying, they were waiting for them to import, blah, 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 don't do that. Another thing was, well, maybe they didn't read what I asked them to do and they just didn't come prepared, and they would start looking through all their photos on their phone because they have an online gallery. Well, that's kind of annoying. It's a little phone, they're not really next to their spouse and having this experience together. They're both just kind of on their phones, and that means they're a little bit distracted too. Things pop up, they start texting, they start Instagramming, who knows what it is. So here's what I decided to do, because ultimately I do want them looking at all of their photos from their wedding while we're designing their albums. I don't want them forgetting things and then wishing they put things in later, and I want them to add more in there as we go, because then bigger album, bigger sale. So I got an iPad, all right? I have all of their photos loaded on here, so as we go through, they can look and be like, oh, what about that photo? That photo's not in there, let's put that one in. And now it's nice and big, they can sit close together, it's an experience for themselves, there's no notifications popping up here, all, distracting them from what we're doing, and this is just a much easier way for them to go through, and then they can just tell me, oh, it's number 173. So this is my newest thing, and I'm really happy about this. I'm happy that it's just going to make the overall process so much smoother, and then they don't have any homework or pre-work for them to do to write down all these numbers and go through the pictures beforehand. They can just come in, relax, not have to do anything beforehand, and sit down together, relive their wedding with me, and add to their album. And it's funny, as I'm actually going through this, I use SmugMug for my online gallery. It's telling me that there's actually a SmugMug app, so maybe that's an easier way to do it than just being on the web page. So I'll have to take a look at that. But give it a try in your next in-person sales session to have your online gallery right in front of them so they can look at all the pictures as you're going through the pre-design. If you haven't read this month's edition of Shutter Mag, I highly recommend it. In-person sales is one of the best things that I do for my business. I mean, literally doubling my income, at least doubling my income. So if you haven't tried it, just give it a try. What's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna say no and not buy anything, and that's already what's happening anyway, right? So give it a try. I will see you guys next month here in Shutter Mag.